All right. I think I am live finally. Sorry guys. I had a little bit of issues. I think I am all good now. I'm all good now. Dude, do. Hello, hello, hello. Just sure everything good. All that stuff. All that stuff. All right. All right. 7 minutes until we're all good. About 4 minutes. So it starts at 10:58. So we got a couple minutes until everything is good. uh, Hopefully this will be a more in-depth trailer. It's probably just going to show some gameplay, obviously, because it's the official gameplay first look. It seems like they should have made this or uploaded this the first time. They started they started doing like NHL 26 stuff. They should have just released this the first time, but I guess like 2 days before the game's actual release, or 2 days before the actual deluxe edition release, release it now instead of like 4 weeks ago. So we'll see though. We'll see how the gameplay is. Obviously, they're going to show some Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers in this, obviously, because we see it here in the thumbnail with big, big logo of NHL 26 right here. Huge logo. But we're going to find out, see how it actually is. I probably will have to mute it while it does like the premiere countdown because YouTube copyright for some reason. Sorry, guys. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. All right. Refresh. We'll begin shortly. Here we go, boys. Here we go. So I will boost up the desktop audio if we're still good on the desktop audio. Hopefully it comes through, and we'll check out the first official gameplay of NHL 26. So I'll refresh it one more time because sometimes YouTube there it goes. All right. So I don't know if there's going to be any commentary, but I'll turn down. Obviously, I'll mute my microphone for the whole thing, or I might like interject like here and there. But I'll get rid of the face cam so you guys can view it live with me as well. So in a minute or so, I'll just get rid of the face cam and move on from there. I'll make it like full screen, and actually I can make it full screen now, so there we go. All right, 50 seconds or 52 seconds left. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Jeez. All right, 30 seconds. Here we go. Here we go. I need sleep? Yeah, probably. I've been getting stuff ready for NHL 26. It's unbelievable how much time I've been spending on getting stuff ready for NHL 26 and uploading daily and stuff like that. So, but anyways, let's check out the gameplay. Yep, there we go. Oh, it's just probably pure just copyrighted music.
I'm joined by Tyson Swatsky and David Pritchett from the NHL gameplay team. Today we're going to cover some commonly asked questions regarding gameplay, starting with a hot topic from NHL 25, the LT. How has that changed in NHL 26?
Yeah, for LT or vision control, we didn't want this massive global change that impacted vision control across the board. We really wanted to focus on the abuse cases that we saw, so people using it on every zone entry. Things that we wanted to do to address that was for left trigger in general, we have a speed cap on it and a speed penalty, so that if you are choosing to use it north, just up ice endlessly off the rush, that it isn't as effective as just skating normally. So that was one of the key pieces we wanted to address. The other piece was using the pivot override mechanic, so where you can use the right stick and pick which way you want to pivot. People were spamming this down the ice, and we wanted to add a consecutive penalty there so that if you do it once, you're still rewarded for good timing, but the more you use it, the more you'll get more friction applied to you and slow down. To address the hip checking feedback, we really wanted to get rid of using using it as a forechecking tool. That was the main factor. So the main adjustment that we did was we're taking and factoring in the power and the outcome of the hit based off of how much the player needs to turn. When you're using it on the forecheck, skating forward, spinning 180, you'll get penalized power-wise quite a bit. That allows us to keep the power for situations where you're back skating and angling players off to deliver hip checks and keep that strong.
Yeah, I agree, Ty, and I also think that the game looks a lot more like real hockey now. It was being abused so often that the game just stopped kind of looking like real hockey.
Talk about
So,
abuse.
like,
they should really focus on
in certain situations,
the 1T ability.
Now starts to feel a lot more like real hockey, and of course look like real hockey too.
For addressing reverse hitting, the main feedback was just the invulnerability and how easily you could skate through other players no matter the size difference. So for reverse hitters this time around, we'll be able to have players stumble who are doing the reverse hit and absorb some of the contact, but not just cleanly skate through the player as easily as before. Similar factors determine like height and weight, the relative speed of the players, the ratings, the timing. It's just not going to be as easy to breeze through as previously.
The feedback that we got from the community, I mean, kind of boils down to there just being too many of them. I think there was around 70 X Factors originally. As a result, what happened there is that they just kind of felt watered down. It wasn't super clear what a given X Factor did or whether it did anything at all. And they certainly weren't all balanced. Like there were some that were clearly more impactful to our users, like elite edges or wheels, than others, right? So the first thing that we did was we kind of distilled this down to the 28 most important X Factors that we felt would provide the most impact, and we wanted to make sure that all 28 of these were viable. None of them would kind of be left on the sidelines, and I think we achieved that. In addition to that, you know, the other point that I want to make here is we've definitely simplified kind of the activation scenarios in the game. It's much more clear to the user through things like the UI that we use when an X Factor is triggering, so that you can learn how these things actually trigger in the game and how your opponent teams are equipped so that you can learn how to defend against them better. It's going to be much more obvious when these X Factors are triggering in the game, and that's super important. Like we're using our indicators now to actually communicate what X Factor is triggering versus kind of a generic icon, but also we have animations that are very specific to a lot of these X Factors as well, which kind of just show you through the body language of the various players that, oh, you're doing something kind of unique and special here. And this is super helpful not only to be able to see in the moment when a given X Factor is triggering, but also to be able to learn how your opponents are equipped and how they're utilizing these X Factors so you can learn how to defend against them.
With the new X Factors, we also wanted to make sure that we still have a variety of X Factors for different player types as well. So power forwards get their abilities, playmakers, snipers, defensive and offensive defensemen still have tools available to them, and then goaltenders, of course, as well.
Player separation was another big piece of feedback we were hearing from the community. And one thing I want to touch on here is that we're using NHL Edge data this year for the very first time. And what the NHL Edge data is data that's collected from the players during every single NHL game using these infrared cameras and these trackers that they have on their jerseys. And we now have access to that data. We are able to look at pieces of data for every single player in the game, like shot speed, where they are on the ice, and most importantly, as kind of pertains to separation, their acceleration and their skating speed as well. So when you have a player like Connor McDavid, he's now obviously different than a player like, you know, Ryan Reeves or somebody like that. No shade intended. Ryan Reeves has a different set of skills, but you know where I'm coming from. So NHL Edge data is something that we're really excited about. It kind of affects a huge part of the game, but definitely it pertains especially to player separation.
To address the concerns around goalies getting stuck and locked into saves, we allow goalies now to make saves out of saves and branching into more reactions out of those cases. We added in a new reflex style save to help in tight shots. That was one main problem with the goalie not being able to react to shots in tight, so we are able to get out in front of the puck more preemptively in cases and really jam against the post with new jam saves as well. In addition to that, we added a lot more in our 80+ animations that we added this year for goalies, more reactions and just more behavior behaviors to pucks just on net or going in the net, reactions to getting scored on, that makes goalies much more aware of what's going on the ice and makes it much more believable.
If I can just say, I remember the moment when Carson, we were all kind of sitting around his desk and he had this kind of new tech to show off about the saves being made out of saves, and there was a shot on net, a slap shot from the point. There was a high tip right in front of the net, and the goaltender originally thought that he was going to have to make a glove save, and the puck went low after the tip, and he kind of kicked out his left leg to make the save, and we all were just like, okay, this is a trailer moment. This changes the game for us. Obviously, one of the big pieces of feedback that we get from the community every single year is how do we make our game play more like the real thing? How do we make the players on the ice feel more like their respective real-world counterparts? We've already talked about the edge data a little bit, but do you want to talk about, Ty, the attributes, the tendencies?
Yeah, for tendencies, we basically look at players' archetype, their X factors, and their attributes, and weigh in tendencies and their player behaviors based off of those three things. So you'll see players who are more physical, lay the body more, players who are more stick check oriented, really look to deliver stick checks off the rush and kind of angle players out, really trying to nail a lot of the player specific differentiation. So you'll see players like Makar kind of take the puck to the middle off of face off with their elite edges looking for shots on net. You'll see Draisaitl down low looking for the sharp angle shots, Ovechkin with one-timer in their particular top circles area, but really trying to deliver both authenticity and have the players utilize their skill sets and strengths.
Thanks for that, guys. I'm excited to see how all these changes come to life in NHL 26. We're just a few days away. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been providing kind of the feedback. We are absolutely listening, and we know that there's still a lot that we weren't able to answer right yet, but we are listening to everything. So really appreciate all of the feedback. Keep the conversation going, and we're going to see you September 5th.
All right. So there we go. There is the gameplay reveal trailer, or gameplay first look. It seems like they should have released this back, like the first trailer that they ever released. They should have been this. But the one thing I want to point out that I found interesting, actually, it was where was it? This part, or
Abuse cases that we
let's
saw,
see.
so
No, I don't think it's.
zone entry, things that we wanted to do.
I think it's ahead a little bit more.
Pick which way you did the more the outcome of the keep skate through other pack, but no.
Where is it? It was somewhere in this. This there it is. All right. The one thing I noticed here, the very top where it says scoreboard, it says series game 1. So it actually tells you while you're playing where the series are and what game are you in. So that's perfect. Certainly should have been reveal trailer not 2 days before the launch. It seems like this trailer is more for the people that didn't watch the other deep dives or the other videos on NHL 26. This is kind of like, hey, this is the changes that we have made. Quick fire. This is the changes that we made. Quick fire. Boom. The game comes out September 5th. If you pre-ordered the deluxe edition, right? This isn't for like us that been watching the deep dives, going through the news, going through the stuff. Right? This is for the people that just like, oh, NHL 26, new gameplay, let's watch it. And then, right? This is not for the people that have been going through and looking at the news and doing all that stuff as we've been doing. So, nothing's in the description. Obviously, using new NHL Edge data. Which won't affect stuff online, in my opinion. Probably won't affect any stuff online. It's just since you're all listening to us this year, Can you release it to us? Can we release it tonight for the deluxe? That is hilarious. So, the whole thing is roughly, if we actually go to the channel, 8 minutes. So, a little bit longer. A little bit longer. If we go to NHL's website, if there's any new stuff happening. Nope. Nope. Obviously, EA Play. Already talked about that in my video. Yeah, so the release date is September at Eastern Standard Time. So 12 Eastern Standard Time. Is it Eastern Standard Time? If we go on Xbox platform, oh, it just sends us right to, there we go. All right. Pre-order. This is the deluxe edition. So September 12th for the deluxe edition, which is completely wrong. Which is completely wrong. It's $129 on Xbox. You're not an EA Play member. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. But it's September 5th. So, we're going to get the game on September 12th? Yeah. A lot of people are saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to get the game. It's going to be the same as last year," but they end up getting the game anyways, which is hilarious to me. So, but yeah, with the changes with BA Pro this year, I expect this game, people to buy this game more this year because the changes they made to BA Pro and stuff like that. So, huge props for them to actually make changes to BA Pro, but they haven't addressed anything regarding my concerns. Like, the hip checks are completely fine. Love doing the hip checks. I mean, that's me all the time with the hip checks, like just hip checking people all the time, especially online. The one gripe I have for the X Factors is the 1T ability. So, they need to work on custom skating. Only 5 skaters with individual styles is a waste of the game mechanics. They're going to get the most popular skaters, or the less popular skaters, to actually do it. I don't think Connor McDavid is going to come in and show off his skating, like how he does it, like record his skating style. I don't think McDavid's going to do that, and Sidney Crosby's definitely not going to do that. He wants nothing to do with the video game. He said in the past, like, he doesn't want to be on the cover. He doesn't want to be... I'm pretty sure he doesn't even want to be in the game, but it's part of the NHL Player Association, so... But the one thing I have a gripe about is the 1T ability, and how it is overpowered to this day, and it's still overpowered. And every single year, it's the most OP X Factor ability, and everybody uses it. Doesn't matter what position they play, everybody uses it. So they need to balance it a little bit better, in my opinion. But half of these X Factors they're showing, or half of this gameplay they're showing, it's like offline play now game mode. It's not online. It's not EASHL. It's mostly probably just Hockey Ultimate Team gameplay, or just play now gameplay. So it's not a huge difference. Like I said earlier, it's more like, hey, NHL 26 comes out in a couple days. Here's what the gameplay looks like. Here's the changes that we made in a quick little summary video, pretty much, for everyone that didn't watch the other deep dives regarding NHL 26, or watched the other videos regarding NHL 26, or hasn't come up with the news, or hasn't looked at the website and stuff like that. So, anyways, I think that's gonna be it for me. There's really nothing much else to talk about because there's really nothing in the trailer to really get into, right? There's really nothing really get into because we already know how NHL Edge works. We already know how most of the X factors work. So there's no huge changes regarding the overall game. Like there's no big things like, hey, we updated this, or we made like this is something new and stuff like that. So it's really nothing else to talk about, unfortunately, which sucks. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know it wasn't as much as we're used to regarding like live streams, reaction live streams when it comes down to NHL 26. We'll know in 2 days how it all works. Yeah, we'll know how it works in 2 days, and then they'll completely change it in the next update. So they'll completely change it and revert back to the old NHL, how we know it, right? How everything is overpowered. It's too easy to score on the goalie. We'll find so many bugs and glitches and stuff like that. It will give us lots of time to complain about it. So hopefully we don't have that this year as much. Yeah, looking forward to your NHL 26 26 opinions. Yeah. I'll have or updates and they don't want to fix it or they can't fix it. Yeah. With NHL 26, I'll tell you guys how it is. Even though that I am my channel, like I'm partnered with the EA Creator Network, I'll still tell you guys my full-hearted opinion about the game. Like, I'll tell you guys full on what I think about the game. In like the first like couple weeks. Obviously, I'm not gonna give you guys I'm gonna give you guys my first opinions. My first opinions on like my first game when I play Be a Pro. But then I'm gonna give you guys like my full opinions on the game like a couple weeks after I have more time playing the game, because I don't believe like if you play the game for like the first like hour, like you know everything about the game and stuff like that, so you give people your true opinions about the game even though you just played an hour of the game. You know what I mean? Like you play at least for like a week or so, and then you tell people like, hey, you should go out buy the game or you should not. It's going to be pretty much the same as last year. It's the same as last year. Don't buy it. Wait for a sale and stuff like that. But I'll tell you guys my full opinion like a couple weeks after the game has been fully released. So, at least a couple weeks after. And I'll mention it like going to be a pro video. Probably. Pray and Be a Pro is actually playable. The changes they have made to Be a Pro, what we have seen so far, I am pretty excited for. And every year I get a little bit excited for the new NHL, like everyone else. But this year, last couple of years I've been a little like iffy because they have made no updates to Be a Pro. And now finally this year they have made some big improvements to Be a Pro, and I'm pretty happy about it. So I'm pretty excited for it. I don't have a PS5, but I have a PS4 starting with 15. Every time they add something, I take a look. So they take something away. Yeah. What EA does, what we have figured out what EA does They do this for every sports game they have. They don't just do it on NHL, they do it on every other one. They take away a feature in the last couple of years, they take it away, and then they bring it back and rename it something different to make it look new. But we all know, like, veteran players of the game, we know, like, oh, it was this from a couple of years ago. You just guys renamed it to make it look new. So it's pretty insane. But the one thing, other than be a pro to make changes to, the one game mode that I think that they should add to NHL 26 is a battle royale. I think they need battle royale, and I think they need skins, and I think they need a competitive game mode, like a ranked game mode. They need a battle pass. They need a BR. They need a battle royale. I think that's what will kick this game to the future. Anyways, this game doesn't need battle royale. It has nothing to do with NHL, anyways. But it's a little joke for you guys if you guys have been keeping up on other streamers that say like every other first-person shooter game needs a battle royale. I think it's pretty funny. How would they put a battle royale in NHL? Like, you just keep on playing. You play, like, you get 32 players. And you only have like 3 minutes per period or something like that. Actually, this could be a game mode. I'm not going to give EA any ideas, actually. I'm not going to give EA any ideas. My favorite thing when they took out in franchise mode is having players playing hurt. Yeah. They'll probably bring back in the next couple years and call it brand new. So, that's what's up with the EA, so. Yeah. That could be in franchise mode this year. They didn't mention it in the Hockey Ultimate Team deep dive regarding like any changes to that, but you don't know. It might be in like in the background where we don't know. So, but yeah, I've been really thinking about this battle royale thing. I don't know why now. God damn it. All right, let's get the battle out. Let's get the battle royale out of my mind. Let's just get that. No, not going to give EA any ideas regarding new game modes that they could charge money for. So, all new features, color graphics. Yep, we have introduced. We've taken away this thing. And we called it this now. There was one thing that they had in one NHL game. There was, yeah, the one thing was like the glass breaking. That was in the NHL game for years. And then all of a sudden they took it out and they brought it back and they're like, this all new, never before seen glass breaking in NHL. It's like we had that in like 05. 04 NHL, and you brought it back now. It's like, what happened? Like, never before seen glass breaking in NHL. It's like it's we had it before. What are you talking about? That was one of the things that I remember going like doing stuff with NHL like way back in the day. And the glass break back in the day, it was a lot more satisfying in the glass breaking in these games now. Obviously, in the older NHL arenas, they use real glass and like it shattered like no tomorrow. But now the glass they use now, it's not even glass. It's full on like plexiglass. Like it's not. It doesn't just shatter like actual glass. Yeah. Yeah, the Genesis games, yeah, had the glass breaking and yeah, even the blood, yeah. But they really can't put that in sports games now because that kind of moved away from hockey kind of moved away from that type of stuff. Kind of like I think it's going to be like in the next couple years you won't be able to fight in any NHL game. Like they'll completely take out fighting. So, well, the NHL will take out fighting, and then they'll take it out of the video game and stuff like that. So, yeah, NHL 07 on the PS2, yeah. So they had glass breaking, and then they took it away, and they're like, and a couple years later, they brought it back, and like, this is brand new. We never done this before. Glass breaking. And I'm pretty sure you could hit your opponents in the benches too. I think that was. I don't think that was any. Was that NHL? Was that EA Sports or 2K that did that? Where you can hit players into the benches. I think that was 2K back in the day. Or it could have been EA Sports. I forget. Because all the NHL games from EA Sports kind of blend into like one big giant gray blob for me. Like it's just one big giant gray blob. It would be cool if it was a rare event, not every game. Yeah. Like with the glass breaking? Like the glass breaking, right? It doesn't happen. If you're talking about the glass breaking, it doesn't happen to be every game. Online, it happened way too much. I know one update, or between one update, like the glass broke like every other shot. And it was super annoying. But I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, there's really nothing. Just a regular standard old gameplay reveal, pretty much. Which kind of sucks. Kind of sucked. Yeah, like especially online, I didn't see as much in like Be a Pro or like anything like that. In the early 2000s, I remember there would being a heartbeat thing, and it seemed to harder. Yeah, it was. That was interesting. I remember that doing that on the PS1. I remember having that feature or the PS1 or like usually the PS1 or what was it? PS1 or PS2? It was one of the two. It was the PS1. Yeah, I think it was the PS1 with a DualShock, and they brought out the DualShock for the PS1. Hold on. Going down the rabbit hole of PlayStation, PS1. 1994. So a year before I was born. Oop. Sorry about that. So 1 year before I was born. Or 1 year after I was born. Sorry. 1 year after I was born. PS1 came out. Okay. I got something on my Discord. Shared by one of my mods. It says, now official confirmed the playoff standings are on the scoreboard. Yeah, we already pointed that out. Okay. Alright. Yeah. I wonder, was the PS2? Because I remember getting... I was very fortunate to have like my dad buying every single console that came out when I was a kid growing up. $150 for a PS2? Jeez. Maybe I should have just kept my PS2. It's like $200. What's up with that? But anyways, I remember it on one of the consoles having that rumble feature or that heartbeat. But I'm thinking, like, was that hitting into the bench? Was it hitting into the bench? Wasn't it 2K or like EA Sports? EA Sports thing. So NHL 2002? CD-ROM, PS2, Xbox. So CD-ROM means PC. This thing came out for the PC, and we don't have PC games now? What the hell? It came out for the Game Boy Advance too? Oh, come on. Come on, EA. You're kind of going backwards here now. What's up with that? Or was it NHL 2000? I think it was NHL Hits. I think that's what it was. I think it was NHL Hits that had the hitting into the bench for the first time. The NHL Hits? NHL Hits was on the GameCube. We're going down the rabbit hole of old NHL stuff. How much do people are selling? $10. All right. $10 for NHL 2003 or 2002 for the PC. $10. Oh, I can play it online. There we go. Hey, what happened, NHL? What happened, EA Sports? Year 2000 came out on the PlayStation. Who was on the cover? Owen Nolan. Okay. Wow, for a brand new NHL 2001 graded is $16.65. It went down 20 cents. It really surged in pricing around 2015, up to like $15. Now we're just going down the rabbit hole of old NHL games now. I wish I could play these old NHL games. I've tried to get some of them, but oh, here we go. NHL 04 is an ice hockey game developed by EA Black Box. Oh, I remember EA Black Box. What happened to them? They just got turned into something else. It's the successor to NHL 23. The game adds 3 European elite leagues: Germany, Sweden, and Finland. Yeah. NHL Black Box or EA Black Box. What happened to them? Founded in Vancouver, obviously. Not Vancouver, British Columbia. Sorry. Yeah, they used to do EA Black Box used to do quite a lot for On 2012, EA Black Box was renamed to Quicklime Games during the development of PC games of Need for Speed World, and under its name it operated and it closed in April 2013. Oh, EA Black Box, what happened? Man, that's where all the good developers, when they left too. NHL 99, NHL 2000. I remember playing these games as a kid. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, platforms. Boop, boop, boop. Microsoft Windows, Game Boy, PlayStation, and Game Boy Color. Yeah, those are one problem. You could play the old. You have the old teams, but you can't really play. I mean, all these developers used to work on NHL, and they just all disappeared. NHL 07. This was nominated for Best Team Sports Game. NHL 07. Oh, NHL 06. Nope, no awards. But NHL 07. They got it. Basketball and blah blah blah. Okay. The game improved the series gameplay with more realistic features such as stick handling and a wider variety of controller. See, this came out for Windows as well. So when do they stop making NHL games for Windows? The last NHL game on PC was NHL 09. However, you could play the most recent games like NHL 26 on PC through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Yeah, so you can do that, but it's super laggy. It's not like native. So sadly, there's no NHL games currently out that you can play on PC. Yeah. EA kind of killed the old NHL games to be on PC. Yeah, the final NHL game native PC release was NHL 09. This was part of EA's NHL series and it released on platforms including Windows. How you can play modern NHL games? Cloud gaming, Xbox Cloud Gaming. Yeah, don't use cloud gaming. It's super laggy with input delay. I tried to make a video on it, like to give awareness out to it, but it was way too laggy. I was like, this is not what it is. Like this is not what it should be. So, but anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. What's this comment here? It says, do you think they fixed a player teammate's AI defenseman to actually get in front of the puck and poke check and try to block shots instead of skating out of the way, especially in Be a Pro? Probably. But we have to wait until we actually find out when we actually play. Pretty much NHL game was 08 is when they added franchise so you could play the AHL teams too. It seems like from NHL, I would say NHL 11 or NHL 10 and down were really good, and the rest were just NHL games. Or NHL 12 or NHL 13, 14. I think from 14 down it was good, and then from 15 up it was bad. I think starting in the next generation of consoles, that's when it started going downhill. For a lot of people. When the new generation, when Xbox One and PS3 came out, or PS4, Xbox One and PS4 came out. That's when people think the NHL games started declining. So, but yeah, hopefully this year, and hopefully with the new consoles figured out to be announced this year, hopefully that EA can kind of bounce back. They're going through they went through a CEO change, I know, recently. So, and what they're doing with Battlefield and what they promised with Battlefield, it looks pretty good with other games as well in the EA family. So, was NHL 11 and then NHL 14. Yeah, a lot of people say from NHL 15 and down, or NHL 14 and down, were the golden days of NHL. Was the best days for NHL. For the AID man goes behind the net. No other team is coming into the zone. Yeah, that was NHL 03 was the best game. The one gripe I have about the AI in the modern NHL games, especially NHL 25, you guys might relate to this. When you're playing Be a Pro, and I always mention this in my videos, if you play Be a Pro and you're going into the zone as a winger or a centerman, and you try to set up in that zone to bring down the goalie's stamina or energy to get the best shot, and you pass back to your defense like you're normally supposed to do in NHL, NHL setup, you pass back to your defense, they shoot the puck right away, they lose it, and then the other team's in your zone, passing around perfectly, but your team cannot do that. For some odd reason, the other team could do it, but your team can't. It's the weirdest thing. Hopefully they fix that in NHL 26, where you can actually set up in the opponent's zone like a real NHL game, and pass the puck around and get somebody open, or to get the goalie moving, because that's the whole point of NHL or the game of hockey, is to get the goalie moving to score, because the goalies now are more agile and more flexible than the goalies back in the day. So, yeah, it's the goalies too in NHL 25. The easiest shots go in, the most fluky shots go in, and they save the most. They save the most, they have the most ridiculous save animations for the safest shot in hockey. And as soon as someone just wrist shots it in a weird angle, it bounces off 20 people, and it bounces off the boards, and it goes in magically. The game looks the same. Same as me. Yes. EA doesn't do a good job of capturing their game modes or capturing their videos. Unfortunately, they're still capturing their 1080p. They're not doing 4K, which 4K will make this video look a lot better. But they're still recording in 1080p. The flopping goalies. Yeah, no goalies sit on their butt, just standing there oh my god, I don't know how to move. I'm stuck. So they fixed that in NHL 26. That's one thing we know that they fixed in NHL 26 is the goalies, and not just sitting on their butt and moving and trying to move they've been super glued to the ice. Or they're being if you ever played hockey, or if you ever played hockey in a cheap arena, and like the Zamboni just got off, and you put the puck on the ice and it freezes to the ice because the water hasn't frozen on the ice fully yet, so the puck sticks. That was kind of like the goalie's butt in HL 25, where like as soon as they sit down, they're stuck. They don't know how to move. They don't know how to get up. And when they're getting up, that's when the other team shoots and they score. So they fixed that in NHL 26, but we have to wait and find out, see if they update it to completely get rid of that. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. A goalie just sitting on his butt and just sitting there like, I don't know how to play my position anymore. Like, I don't know how to do it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But NHL 26, hopefully, all we can do is hope that it's better than NHL 25 in some little way, and keep on complaining to the devs about everything else. Because the one thing that they said here is like, oh, we're listening. We really got to make sure they're actually listening. Because since NHL 16 or 17, I've been wanting changes to be a pro. And they made little changes to be a pro, like adding the coaches' challenges and stuff like that pop up, and like different stuff added to be a pro to kind of make it like, hey, there's something new in be a pro. And then just nothing comes out of it. And then finally they make some changes to be a pro this year, after complaining for 10 plus years, something like that, like 7 plus years, 6 plus years, about the be a pro not changing, and they're finally making some changes to be a pro. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about them making changes to be a pro and all that stuff. So 2 days, 48 hours. What time is the launch? The launch is September 5th at 12 EDT. So EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. So yeah, so it's Eastern Standard Time. That's not right. Yeah, so pretty much on the East Coast, it's going to be released at like 12 o'clock at my time, like 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So actually, we can actually check on EA or on Xbox. So you can actually check if you're on, I don't know if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, but you can launch up and see, actually, if we go to, the Microsoft Store, search. Right now I'm just searching. I'm looking at my old monitor, my second monitor here. But I'm looking off to the side. Yeah, September 5th at 12. So, September 5th at 12. It's about 42 gigs on Xbox. All that stuff. You guys can see the screenshots. Oop. Go back. There we go. You can see the screenshots that they have for the game as well. There's the famous, like, be a pro thing they showed. Oh, there's another with a tunnel walkout. Obviously, the cover athlete, or one of them, because there's 3 cover athletes this year on the deluxe edition. We have the Kachuk family, gross. And then the standard edition comes up September 12th at 12 o'clock as well. So These prices are ridiculous, like $80. Why all EA Sports games 48 gigs? 43 gig? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should be that much. To me. It doesn't seem like it'd be that much. Like, having a game like, where is it? Like Helldivers 2. That's 23 gigs. Helldivers 2 is 23 gigs. Wish it was $60 again. It's always been $79.99 in Canada. It's always been about $80 in Canada. As long as I can remember. But I remember in this I know in the States they raised the price by like $10, right? In the States? So how big is Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater? 93 gigs. Okay, that kind of makes sense. It's a big game. But I don't know why even like Madden. I own Madden, obviously. 64 gigs for Madden. That's absolutely insane. 64 gigs. That is absolutely insane. And then college. How much is college football? Oh, how big is college football? Yeah, it's $70 US. Yeah. So college football is. Where is it? I think I passed it. 41 gigs. So why is Madden? Why is Madden 64 gigs? What the hell? I use, Microsoft Rewards to pay. Yep. I have 21K rewards points right now on Xbox. I'm kind of saving reward points right now, so. But, yeah, so if we switch back to the just chatting screen, because we are, I could probably get rid of my desktop, and then you guys can still see Xbox in the background. So, I do have NHL 26 installed, but it does not work. Like, I could try to launch it. It launches like that, and then it says, you do not own this game or app, because it's not released yet. But I got it fully downloaded and ready to go. Ready to go on the EA trials here, it says right here, for on Xbox. So, probably just have to do an update and then ready to go. I had one of the NHLs near me. 1 year I got NHL 20 for $20. The other Walmarts were higher. It really depends on Walmart, like different Walmarts. My friend used to work at a Walmart here in Canada, and every Walmart has like different pricing. It's weird. I don't know why, but has different pricing. Different Walmarts have different pricing for some reason. I don't know why, but it's weird. All right, let me turn off my Xbox because I don't need it on. I'm not going to play any games. But I think I'm going to end the live stream here, guys. I know we've been kind of going on a tangent on talking about old NHL games and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. A little bit longer than my usual like live streams when it comes down to like reactions and stuff like that. But I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it talking to you guys and stuff like that. I can't wait for NHL 26. If you guys don't want to miss any videos regarding NHL 26, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. You said you had to change Xbox your date when the game is released if you want to play it. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. But anyways, I'll see you guys September 5th when the first episode of Be a Pro comes out here on the channel. If you guys want to stay up to date, make sure you guys hit that bell icon so you become notified, and make sure you guys subscribe as well. So, anyways, it's been a pleasure. Been an absolute joy talking to you guys and discussing everything. I was saying change the date to see if it'll let you play. No, they EA caught on to the New Zealand trick. So you can't do that anymore. And probably I will have to type in I'll probably have to like show my ID anyways. So EA caught on to it. EA, that's why the EA games release in the afternoon now instead of at night like they used to. So that's why they're released in the afternoon instead of midnight. But other games like Call of Duty, you can still do that. So, but anyways, yeah, they caught on. They fixed it. Unfortunately, I tried in the past to do it, and it still doesn't work. So you have to wait. And probably now I probably have to verify my age, anyways, in the European market. So, but anyways, like I said, make sure you guys subscribe so you can come notified when I upload a video of Be a Pro and give you guys my thoughts and opinions on like the first couple episodes. Will give you guys my thoughts on the stuff. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. See you guys then. Peace out.